In the freezing expanse of a remote military base, where the air itself seemed frozen solid, a group of elite soldiers huddled together, their breath misting in the frigid air. They were the best of the best, hardened warriors who had faced every conceivable danger. But today, they were about to witness a different kind of battle, one that would challenge everything they thought they knew about strength and power. Their guest instructor was a man named Mateo, a quiet, unassuming Filipino master who seemed out of place among these giants of modern warfare. He was older, smaller, and his chosen weapons were not high-caliber rifles or tactical knives, but two simple rattan sticks. The unit's commander, a mountain of a man named Victor, watched with a smirk. Victor was a decorated soldier, a behemoth whose physical presence alone was enough to intimidate most opponents. He believed in one thing: overwhelming force. Seeing Mateo's sticks, Victor couldn't help but chuckle, the sound echoing in the tense silence. "Are we playing games today, old man?" he boomed, his voice dripping with condescension. "What are you going to do with those toys? Tickle the enemy into submission." A few of the younger soldiers snickered, while the more experienced ones remained silent, their eyes fixed on the small instructor. Mateo simply smiled, a calm and knowing expression on his face. "These are not toys," he said, his voice soft but firm. "They are an extension of the will. In the right hands, they are more than enough." Victor's smirk widened into a challenging grin. "Talk is cheap, show me, you and me right now." No holding back. The challenge hung in the icy air. A murmur went through the ranks. This was more than a demonstration. It was a clash of philosophies. The giant versus the master. Brute force against ancient technique. Mateo simply nodded. "As you wish, Commander." He took his stance, the rattan sticks held loosely at his sides. He looked almost relaxed, a stark contrast to Victor, who was already flexing, his massive muscles straining against his uniform. The circle of soldiers widened, creating an impromptu arena in the snow. The commander charged, a human battering ram intent on ending the fight before it even began. He lunged forward with a powerful right hook, a punch that could shatter concrete. But where his fist met only empty air, Mateo was no longer there. He had sidestepped the blow with a fluid, almost dance-like motion, his feet barely seeming to touch the ground. Victor grunted in frustration and swung again, a wild haymaker that whistled through the air. Again, Mateo was gone, evading with an almost supernatural grace. He didn't retreat. He simply moved around the commander, using his opponent's momentum against him. Victor was becoming enraged. He was bigger, stronger, and faster than any man he had ever faced. Yet, this small, older man was making him look like a fool. He threw a flurry of punches and kicks, each one a thunderous blow that should have ended the match. But each and every time, Mateo flowed out of the way. He was a ghost, a leaf in the wind. The soldiers watched in stunned silence. They had seen their commander dominate opponents in hand-to-hand combat countless times, but this was different. He wasn't just being beaten, he was being outclassed. The commander's attacks grew more desperate, his movements becoming sloppy. He was gasping for air, the cold burning his lungs, while Mateo remained perfectly composed, his breathing steady. With another furious roar, Victor lunged for a tackle, hoping to use his immense weight to crush the smaller man. This time, Mateo didn't just evade. As Victor rushed past, Mateo used one of his rattan sticks not to strike, but to gently hook the commander's ankle. It was a simple, almost effortless movement. But combined with Victor's own forward momentum, it was devastating. The giant commander crashed face first into a snowbank, his massive frame tumbling in a heap. The world went silent, save for the sound of Victor's heavy breathing. Humiliation washed over him, colder than the snow on his face. He had been defeated without a single blow being landed on him. He had exhausted himself fighting a shadow. Slowly, he pushed himself up, his face a mixture of shock, anger, and a dawning respect. Mateo stood a few feet away, the rattan sticks resting calmly at his sides. He hadn't broken a sweat. "Strength is not just about size, Commander," Mateo said softly. "It is about control. Control of yourself and control of the situation." Victor looked at his hands, then at the small master. In that moment, the arrogance drained from him, replaced by a profound understanding. He had relied on his physical gifts his entire life, but he had just been humbled by a man who possessed a different kind of power, the power of discipline, technique, and centuries of tradition. He straightened his uniform, stood tall, and faced Mateo. Then, in front of all his men, the elite commander brought his heels together and rendered a sharp, perfect salute. It wasn't a salute to an instructor. It was a salute to a master. The soldiers, one by one, followed his lead, their salutes a silent testament to the lesson they had all just learned. Skill, not size, is the true measure of a warrior. Thank you for watching. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more content that challenges our perceptions of strength and honor. See you in the next one.